Hello, everyone. I didn't want to post our meeting from last night because it was almost 2 hours long and I didn't want you to have to search through it to find parts that you wanted to rewatch. So I'm going to make a quick tutorial and review of what we did together last night. So when you open a new file in SketchUp, this is what you will see. If you're using the app, for some reason, there's a male figure. And if you use the web app, there is a female figure. This person really doesn't mean anything to your file other than it helps you remember that this is a three-dimensional environment. So these three red, blue, and green axes are showing you that this is three-dimensional space. The blue axis is going up and down in space. The green goes from side to side, and the red goes from front to back. And we can see this when we use the three tools to navigate around the screen. The first one is the pan tool. So if you click on this little hand icon, you'll notice that your mouse changes to a hand. If you click around your screen, this is the pan tool. This is moving you side to side. You can see my little man is moving from left to right. If I want to instead move around the space, I click on the orbit tool with the two arrows. If I click on this tool, when I click around my screen, it spins the space around the man. So now I'm moving all around him instead of just side to side. I can also zoom in and out. If you're using a mouse, you can just scroll. If you are not using a mouse, I think you can still scroll. You can also just use these two magnifying glass tools. These are the zoom tools. So if you click on the magnifying glass, wherever you put your mouse on the screen and you click, and then you drag and you move up and down, you'll zoom in and out. This tool zooms in wherever your mouse is, okay? I can zoom in more, I can zoom out more. Now I'm pretty much back to where I started. When you're switching around the tools, it's important to remember what tool you are using, because if you're trying to do something and you start to click around with this magnifying glass, it's just going to keep zooming. So you want to always make sure in between tools you go back to the mouse key. Or if you like shortcuts, you can use the space bar. So if I'm on the pan tool, I pan around my screen, I want to get back to the mouse, I just click the space bar and it goes back to the mouse. So that's how to navigate your screen when you're in SketchUp. We also talked about how to draw a line. When you draw a line, you use the pencil tool. The pencil tool has a drop-down menu, it says line and freehand. For now, we just want to use line. And SketchUp is a program that is a one-click program. You don't ever have to click and drag your mouse when you are drawing something. So if I click one time with my mouse, it starts to draw a line for me, and you'll notice the line is always straight. Wherever I click again, my line ends. And then you will see that it wants to continuously draw lines that are connected to each other. You can do that if you want, but you don't have to. If you don't want your lines to connect, you just go back to the mouse tool and it gets rid of that pencil tool. When you're ready to go back to the pencil tool, you click back to the pencil tool, and now I can draw a new line that's not connected to my other lines. If you want to draw a line that is a certain length, you will notice that there is this measurements box at the bottom of your screen. When I click on the pencil tool and I go to draw a line, while I'm in the middle of drawing my line, before I make my second click, I can just start typing. Whatever you type ends up in that measurement box at the bottom of the screen, and you'll notice that now I started to draw a line. It changes from measurement to length. Right now it's telling me that my line is 6 feet and 8 15/16 inches. That's really precise. If I want to draw a 5-inch line, I'm going to type 5 and then the quotation marks, because those mean inches. If I wanted 5 feet, I would do 5 and then an apostrophe. Once I hit that, I click enter, my line becomes exactly 5 feet long. I'll show you that one more time. start with the pencil tool, click once to start your line. When you're in the middle of drawing it, before you click again, I'm gonna make this one 10 feet. And you don't have to click into that length box. You just start typing and it types in there. I click enter. Now I have a 10-foot line. I could make a really small line if I want. I could make a 1-inch line. I'll start it right here. I want it to be 1 inch. I'll hit 1, quotes, enter. It's so tiny I can't even see it, but it's right there. That's where my 1-inch line is. It looks like a dot. But if I zoom in, you'll see it gets bigger. It's actually a line. So that's how we draw a line in SketchUp. Now let's draw a rectangle using the rectangle tool. This is the rectangle tool right here. It's a square with a diagonal line through it. This also has a drop down, so make sure you're using the rectangle tool. This shows the pencil tool, but then it shows a little box. So when I click once, it starts my rectangle. It can get really big. You'll notice depending on where you are on the axes, it will either be up and down or flat on the ground. I want mine to be flat. I'm just going to click again and it created a rectangle for me. I can make a couple of these. And just like I made my lines, I can choose how big these rectangles are. So if I want to have a 5 by 5 foot square, I'm going to start my rectangle and I'm going to start to type in 10 feet, comma, 10 feet. When I hit enter, that just created me a 10-foot rectangle. It looks a little disproportional right now, but that's because of where I am on my screen. But that's how you can control the size of what you are drawing. So if this was going to be the base of a house and I needed it to be 50 feet by 40 feet, I would click, drag, type 50 feet, comma, 40 feet, hit enter, and there it is. It's really big, but I can zoom out so I can see it better. I can pan around my screen. I can orbit around my screen. I can also delete that little guy if I want to. If I don't want him here anymore, I just go back to the mouse tool, I click, it selects him, and I click delete. If I don't want to delete him, I can leave him there, but he's not really important to my lines that I'm drawing right now. You can also click and draw a box around him. That will select him to delete him as well. So now that I've reminded you how to use the pencil tool, the rectangle tool, and the pan, zoom, and orbit tools, let's save what we've made so far. To save, I'm going to click File, Save. It's going to prompt me to title this. I'm going to title it Tutorial. Then it's going to save it to my documents. This is where it's telling me it's a SketchUp file. That's what I want, because when you upload this to Google Drive, I want to be able to open this in SketchUp. I don't just want a flat image. I want a SketchUp file. So I'm going to save this. It says it's saving it to my documents. So now I'm going to go back to the website. And on my latest blog post, I put this link for the shared Google Drive folder. So when you click on this link, it's going to bring you to the folder, and we'll see some people have already uploaded theirs, okay? So now I can upload my own. In order to upload a file, I'm going to click New, and then I'm going to click File Upload. That's going to allow me to choose something from my computer. I know that I saved this in Documents, and I called it Tutorial. There it is. Okay, I'm going to choose that. It's going to upload here. Okay, now I told you that I wanted you to rename this with your name. So in order to rename this, I just right click on my file, I click rename, and now I can name it with my name. Okay, now notice there's my SketchUp file, there's a SketchUp file, but some of these that have been uploaded are gonna have to be re-uploaded. Like Catherine's is a screenshot. So she has a flat image. I can't get into this file in SketchUp because it is not a .skp file. Same thing with Gabby's. It's just a screenshot. I need it to be an actual SKP file. If you just type that at the end of your title, it's not going to become a SketchUp file. It needs to actually be one. So I hope that you can understand the difference. If you don't, let me know. I can help you figure that out. But that's how I want you to upload your file. And I have one more thing to point out to you. Catherine made a good point about my checklist. So if I go into our weekly checklist, this did change a little bit because the Dropbox does not allow us to upload SketchUp files. So this last assignment called the Dropbox assignment, that is you uploading your SketchUp file to the Google Drive folder instead of Dropbox. So it's the same assignment that I posted on the blog. It's this assignment right here, okay? That's what I just did in SketchUp. I uploaded it to the Google Drive folder. That is that last item on your checklist. I hope you enjoy having fun in SketchUp, and I will talk to you all very soon.